What is up, my fellow gamers? In today's video, we got our first impressions review for the closed beta of Ash Echoes. Like this video if you enjoy the mobile gaming content. All right, so this game, closed beta, man, oh man, this is it. I have been having a lot of fun with this. This game gives me hope for mobile gaming moving forward. One of the problems with mobile gaming is a lot of the genres, whether it's an MMO, hero collecting, base building war game, they're typically always the same, just reskinned in a different aspect, but it always has the same gameplay mechanics. This one, however, this game, it's a bit different from like the typical games that you kind of see out there, which I love. I absolutely love the gameplay for this, and I think that is what kind of just shines with this game. The gameplay is absolutely phenomenal. I have no problem with it so far. Everything has run amazingly smooth on PC. The mobile port of this was a little bit laggy at times. I was playing on a Galaxy, what is it, S9 Plus or something, my Galaxy tablet, and sometimes there would be a little bit of like some lagginess occasionally, but overall it still ran really smooth, and that's with all of the settings maxed out. Game is a lot of fun. What I like about it is there seems to be a lot more strategy involved than kind of what you think. You've got your characters that you're gonna put out there, and you're kind of like protecting this core. It's almost kind of, I don't want to say it's a tower defense game. It feels like a next level of tower defense. Character wise, you're going to be collecting these characters that are called echoes. You can have a bunch of them out on the battlefield at once, and then you also have your main leader in the middle. Now, the really cool customizing part I like about this is if we go and click on our leader where it says details and we go to main traces, these main traces are kind of like cards, and you can go ahead and you can put a bunch of different cards on your leader, and they have tons of different attributes and effects and things that go into play. You can see for right now, overall, we've got an 871 score, and we have a bunch of different stats that these are affecting. TRM is your terminal, which is that thing that you're trying to protect in the game. So once we go ahead, let's jump into another battle. That thing actually really plays a huge part in the battle because it has different things that it can do. Like you have abilities to put shields on your characters and things like that. So we can go ahead, we can move our characters in our starting order around in this grid force, but ultimately we're trying to protect our terminal, that thing in the middle. So we'll go ahead, we'll click start. And the other cool thing I like about it is we can move the camera around, so it's not stationary. And the enemies can come from like any different which way on the battlefield. So like, it's not just typical where they're just spawning in from a set spot and you know where they're coming from. They could come from down here, they could come from over here, kind of like surrounded, and there's a lot of variety to the gameplay. It doesn't really get stale too often because it's constantly challenging you in different ways. It does have an auto feature, so you can go ahead, click the auto button, and the computer will automatically cast the special skills for you. And we're also going ahead, we're moving to another area, and now we got to go ahead and defend over here. The graphics are absolutely amazing with this game. Everything looks gorgeous on PC. I definitely think PC is the preferred way to play this. Of course, you have amazing animations when the characters are activating their special abilities. Pay to win wise, we really don't know how pay to win is going to be because there is no shop. It is a closed beta, so there is no way for us to currently spend money in the game. I imagine this probably is going to be heavily monetized because it is a really good game. You can tell that the devs worked really hard on it, and they want to get rewarded for their hard work, right? They want to make a bunch of money. The other thing is, I don't know how good the gacha is gonna be. I know some people are like, oh, the gacha is so great, but it is closed beta, and a lot of these mobile games tend to buff up the rates or make the gacha rates, or even just in general, they kind of tend to manipulate the characters that you have access to when it is a closed beta. And it's because it's just for you to test out. It's to draw a bunch of hype to it, get you interested and ready for the global launch. So I would kind of just hold a grain of salt to the gacha rates currently and how easily it's been to obtain those higher rarity echoes. So just keep that in mind. Global launch, it might be a lot harder to obtain those like legendaries or SSRs or whatever the highest rarity you want to call them, as opposed to right now where it just feels like everyone and their mother and grandmother and dad and farmer and neighbor and mailman can just pull the best characters instantly. Regardless though, this is a game that I'm definitely going to highly recommend. If we take a look at the gacha right now, we've got a couple different banners. We have our Echomancers, these are our main characters. And then you're also going to be summoning for those memory traces. So like I mentioned earlier, these traces play a huge impact. They're basically cards. If you've ever played any kind of other hero collecting game, there's some hero collecting games out there that focus on attaching like cards to the characters instead of gear. So this is pretty much how that system is working. But I really like the memory trace system. I think this is a really nice system. It's a bit different. It's not like completely different from some other things, but it's different enough to make it feel somewhat unique, as opposed to like this feature that you've seen in maybe some other games as well. The Echomancer characters themselves feel pretty different when it comes to one compared to the other. They all feel pretty unique and they have very distinct abilities and things that they're good with. We have a heal support character right here, and you can see excels in supporting allied units, including healing and enhancements. And you can kind of see a breakdown of the different elements as well. And that was one thing that I thought was really cool, is the elements play a huge impact in this game, and they kind of go based on like a different route. So like they deal extra damage to airborne enemies for wind Echomancers, and then some Echomancers area damage can dispel toxic mist. So there's a lot of battlefield manipulation going on where your Echomancer's elements really play a factor. If they're going ahead and putting like a shock effect on enemies that are near like water, and there's a lot of really good synergy with the elements. Like the elements feel like they matter. It doesn't feel like it's just, oh, you know, red, blue, green, rock, paper, scissors, fire beats this and water beats that. It really feels like the elements have a point to them. They really have a reason for you to look out for certain Echomancers with certain elements. You have your combat skills, which kind of goes ahead, tells us our active and auto skills. We have our seed right here, and as you go ahead, you can increase their seed evolution right here, which is really cool. So there's a bunch of different ways to kind of empower them and make them stronger. It's not just kind of like your basic level up system where you're just kind of dumping a bunch of XP points into them and leveling them from level 1 to level 60. Is, you know, it's a little bit more complex than that, which I do like. The game gives you tons of stats and details about the characters and the way things work. And that is it. I think this game is going to be an absolute banger. I cannot wait for global launch. Hope you guys and girls enjoyed the video. Stay happy, stay safe. I'll see y'all later. Peace.